Hi guys, thanks so much for tuning into this video. I am Jay Theo and I hope your week is going well. Hope you're doing fine. There's always some craziness going on in the world, but I hope you guys are doing okay with your week and I hope everything is treating you well. So as you can see by the title of this video, today we'll be discussing masculinity within the gay community, which honestly, y'all, this topic is something that is not new to gay discourse, but I definitely want to focus on it today because there seems to have been an uptick in, like, at least from my perspective on social media, where it's just this constant conversations about the lack thereof masculinity within the gay community. And what really sparked me to make this video was this viral tweet that came across my timeline that read, y'all might cancel me for this, but I agree. And then there's a meme and it reads, "Bring back masculine gay men." Y'all, and the tweet got 800,000 views, 650 likes, 700 retweets and quotes, between quotes and retweets. So y'all, seeing tweets like this isn't anything new. Seeing conversations about this isn't anything new. But I definitely think that it's worth finally having the right conversation about it. At the end of the day, how we define masculinity and what masculinity means in the gay community, straight community, just in general, is ever changing. And I think ultimately that's what we should be talking about. So guys, first I want to start off by reading just the definition of masculinity before we even get started, and then I'm going to give my thoughts. So masculinity refers to a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with boys and men. It is socially constructed, meaning that society and culture shapes the understanding of what it means to be masculine. So I just wanted to first just start with the definition, y'all, because at the end of the day, masculinity is a social construct. We as a society determine what's masculine or not. It is not a biological thing, it is a social construct. And living in a patriarchal country where men are the focus, men have the power, of course masculinity, based on society has constructed it, is gonna be deemed the most desirable and the most attractive thing out there. Like, that's just how it works based on how our society has raised us. And the reason I say all that is that the reason that gay people or gay men or people think that there's not enough masculine gay men in the world anymore, and this is even happening in straight world where people think there's not enough masculine men or whatever, is all because as we progress as a people, as we progress as queer people, which queer people are always on the cutting edge scope of changing mindsets, we as queer men, we as gay men are understanding that our gender expression can be more fluid, that our gender expression falls on a spectrum, that we don't have to be completely one way or the other. And that's really the reality of being gay and being queer. As we progress in our society, as we expand in our society, we as gay people are broadening our own understanding of gender expression, and we are allowing ourselves to ebb and flow across that spectrum. The fact that we have non-binary people now, the fact that we have people acknowledging different pronouns and things like that, the fact that we have people that go by they, there, is simply because people are allowing themselves to ebb and flow and show more fluidity when it comes to their gender expression and their gender identity. We as human beings all have aspects of masculinity and femininity, and we can ebb and flow on it. And people think that, oh, just because someone ebbs and flows on a spectrum, now they don't have the qualities of masculinity that I want, that I deem and find attractive. And that's really the bigger issue, is that as people become more open and okay with their gender expression, now we are deeming them less desirable because we don't fit into the mold of what we've been taught as what masculinity is. And true masculinity, how we've been taught it, which is honestly performative, toxic masculinity, does not allow for you to ebb and flow on the spectrum of gender expression. It allows you to fit in one end of the spectrum with this high performative hyper masculinity. That's really the issue, and at the end of the day, we have to unlearn, we have to retrain our brains on how to view gender expression. Y'all, as someone who is now 32 years old, as a black gay man, I have done a lot of work to unlearn a lot of the things that has been put in my brain when it comes to my gender identity and what I expect out of the gender expression, gender identity out of other gay men, out of other men in general. When I was younger, I used to see myself as a more feminine, more submissive gay person. So I knew I fit the role of a bottom. I definitely fit the role. I'll be more submissive in a relationship. I'll be more nurturing in a relationship. All of those things. So I always pursued men who were more hyper masculine. And I found myself never getting what I truly wanted out of a partner, out of somebody that I feel like I'm getting to know dating wise, because they were just so hyper masculine. And to be hyper masculine is you are eliminating everything feminine. And one big component of being feminine is your emotional intelligence, is your emotional intellect. So that's something that when you are so hyper focused on the masculine that will be missing when that is what you're speaking to, when you're speaking to a masculine person. You are speaking to a lot of performative toxic traits that fall under the umbrella of toxic masculinity. So I'm gonna go ahead and read off aspects of toxic masculinity, kind of explain why this desire for that is only hurting us and how we as people have to unlearn those traits. Because for me, once I stopped pursuing people that are super hyper masculine, I started to realize what someone more on the spectrum of their gender expression can offer. They can offer emotions, they can offer caring, they can offer nurturing, they can offer support in ways that someone who is hyper focused on being masculine cannot. Okay, so aspects of masculinity, the way that a lot of us see it, the way that a lot of us were constructed, the way a lot of us were taught, is based on aspects of toxic masculinity. So I'm gonna go ahead and read through those. Aggression. So aggression, being aggressive, is a form of toxic masculinity. And aggression in the form of problem solving. So fighting, debating, always being aggressive to solve a problem. That is an aspect of masculinity that a lot of us deem as masculine, but it's actually an aspect of toxic masculinity. Emotional suppression. So not showing your emotions, not being able to regulate your emotions, not being able to understand your emotions, and not being able to show those emotions. Hyper competitiveness, always wanting to compete, always wanting to be better than. There's always a hierarchy to everything. That is a toxic masculine trait. Misogyny and homophobia. To be masculine is to be hyper masculine is to be anti-women. To be anti-women is to be anti-gay and to be homophobic. Anything that is close to femininity is close to women, so I do not like it. So that's why a lot of gay men like to pursue men that are down low, because they like the fact that they sleep with women, because that makes them feel like they're closer to being masculine and the closest thing to being a true man. But they are lying and being deceitful to women. So why would you want that? Or why are you pursuing that? But that's why DL culture is such an issue in our community, is because gay men like the idea of a man being so close to masculinity that they prefer him to be sleeping with women. Risk-taking and invulnerability. Not really caring about your health, not really caring about what you do, doing dangerous things is also an aspect of masculinity and toxic masculinity. With all that being said, those are all aspects of what a lot of us think is masculine, to be masculine, to show up masculine. And it took the unlearning for me to experience men like this, to understand that that is not what I want in a partner, in a friend. You know, I don't want that. When you find men that can actually show their emotions, when you can find men that actually demonstrate emotion regulation, that can be vulnerable, that can be open, men that are not always driven by aggression and using violence to solve their problems, you slowly realize that that's not even worth pursuing. At the end of the day, we as humans should not aim to be feminine or masculine. We should just aim to be able to regulate our emotions. We should aim to be people that can talk through our feelings. We should aim to be able to problem solve without going to the deep end. And I just want to push that we need to work on unlearning that. I definitely, for myself, once I realized that, I feel like I have gotten so much more peace with the type of gay men that I interact for friends, when I interact for people that I want to date, all of the above. Now, with all that being said, I definitely want to talk about the physical, because that's a huge aspect of what these gays are talking about when they say they want more masculine gay men. They want a 6-foot-tall dude with locks that wears basketball shorts and Jordans and gives trade all the time and has a deep voice and you would never suspect is a queen. But even with that, you never can win. if you are a masculine presenting gay man, the moment you decide to give a butch queen look, the moment your voice gets a little couple octaves too high, the moment you decide to do anything feminine at all, now you're feminine. You are undesirable. The moment you want to bottom, there are some gays out here that think it's it's not masculine to bottom. If you are a top or a verse top or somebody who's ever bottomed, you are now undesirable because they don't want their man to have ever been bottoming before, which I just think is wild. So that's another aspect of it. And that's my thing, is that you cannot win. The rules to be masculine are so strict that you show any sign of femininity, you are now deemed feminine and you are now deemed undesirable. And that's why I just think these conversations about masculinity are just so tired. And also, at the end of the day, if you are a feminine person who honestly was the original poster of this tweet, they leaned more nuts. They weren't hyper feminine, but they were, to me, more in the middle of the spectrum. They were ankle braces, had lip gloss on, things like that. You are basically telling people that you're not desirable. If you do not fit the mold of what it means and what it looks to be a masculine person, you are now undesirable. And you shouldn't be desired. But it's like people don't understand that when they are pointing the finger out to other people, there's three pointing back at them. When you say that femininity isn't desirable and you show any aspect of femininity, now you are not desirable. When you say bring black, masculine, gay men, and you are not a masculine gay person based on your standard of masculinity, then you're not desirable. Then you're not desirable. And I think a lot of us in gay world would be so much happier when it comes to building connection, romantically, with friends, all of the above, if we allowed our gender expression to be more fluid. If we allowed everything that we've been taught to be more open and be more fluid, understand that we fall on a spectrum. You can be a verse. You can be a verse top and bottom every once in a while. You can be a verse bottom and top every once in a while. You can wear a crop top and then you can wear a jersey tomorrow. You can do all of these things. You can be trade one day and then give a femme look another day. I just made a video recently of this is why I even love being gay, is that we have the fluidity to be who we are and to express ourselves based on however we feel, because we don't have to fit into these molds, into these norms. But I continuously see so many gay men trying to pull us back, trying to push us back into these boxes and put us back into these heteronormative buckets that we don't need to be a part of. And when you finally allow yourself to be free and do what you want, you're gonna feel so much better. Y'all, the first time I went and got my nails done and got True Designs years ago, when I left that nail salon and got full-on designs, full-on paint on my nails, I felt so free. It was so freeing. I always wanted to get my nails done like that. And when I finally was able to do it, I'm like, yes. And this was like six years ago. You know, but I feel I was so happy. I was so happy. When I do things that cross the gender norms and I'm excited to do it, and I finally feel like I can do it, it's so freeing. It's so freeing, even someone sexually. I did not used to top. I used to be so afraid of topping. Even to this day, I get a lot of performance anxiety when I have to top, because I feel like to top, you have to be such a masculine person. You have to perform in such a masculine way and all of the above, that I still get performance anxiety. But y'all, I love to top. I love topping. I'm good at topping when I actually get out of my head, and I love it. But I never would have known that I could be good at topping if I just thought, oh, I'm not as masculine as other people, and I can't top, and I'm more of a femme person, I'm more submissive, so I can't. If I kept that framework in my mind, I never would even experience topping. But it took a gay dude to be like, why aren't you topping? Why not? You're gay. You can do both. Just because you seem a little bit more femme in certain ways doesn't mean you can't be still mask or what we deem masculine to be in other ways. Like, you do whatever you want to do. And I think with the spectrum, we all fall on certain ends of the spectrum. You can fall in the middle, you can fall closer to masculine, closer to feminine, in what we deem and what societal standards have stated that these things are. But it doesn't mean that you can't ebb and flow. I'm not saying that masculine men, you should not want a masculine man and you should not be attracted to them, whatever. At the end of the day, we still are basing our attraction based on what society has taught us. But I want us to understand that all men are men. A feminine man is still a man. A masculine man is still a man. An in-the-middle man is still a man. And once you start thinking more like that, you start finding the attraction and you start seeing the beauty in people you never thought you would be attracted to. That's when I started seeing the beauty in feminine men. That's when I started seeing the beauty in men that were more in the middle like me. That's when I started seeing the beauty. And when you can break bread and chill and do things on a more feminine level, quote unquote, with other gay men, that's when you start building community connection, when you feel like you can be more yourselves around these people. One big reason why I stopped being so hyper-focused on dating hyper-masculine men and all that is because I never felt like I could fully be myself. I felt like I was performing, being less feminine, quote unquote, being less myself to perform for somebody that's supposed to be interested in me. What's the point of having to be performative for somebody? Like, that defeats the whole purpose. You need to be able to be yourself. You want somebody to fall in love or be attracted to who you are. And that's why I think the whole mask or mask agenda, all this stuff, we need to stop it. And we need to change our narrative. We need to stop thinking differently. We need to focus on unlearning. And understand that where we are as a community, as a gay community, we are becoming more understanding of where we fall on the gender expression spectrum, and we are being more okay with expressing our gender fluidity. And that should be celebrated. It should not be suppressed. It should not be looked down upon. We should stop being so strict on what we find attractive. It's just too strict, y'all. Y'all literally, I saw a post the other day on Twitter where like they literally were talking about the voices of porn stars and how they top and they're good tops, but their voice is too high. It just makes me so unattractive. Oh, their voice is way too high. I'm not even attracted anymore. Like, are we being serious? Are we being for real? Are we being for real? Like, let's be for real. So y'all, I just ultimately just want us really to think about unlearning and breaking these barriers and stop pushing ourselves back into these heteronormative, restrictive mindsets. At the end of the day, masculinity is a mask. It is performative. It is a mental prison for most men. It is the reason why the world is the way it is toxic masculinity. And if we start looking at masculinity as all-encompassing, as masculinity, as it being masculine to have emotional intelligence, as it being masculine to be able to show your gender expression, gender identity in any way you choose. If we start looking at masculinity like that, it's masculine to be nurturing, to be supportive, to be all of those things. When we start changing the narrative of what it means to be masculine, what it means to be a man, how we define manhood, that's when we really start reshaping this world that we live in. So this got a little ranty. I feel like I hit every nugget that I wanted to hit. To you, all you gays out there, continue to push yourself to unlearn what we've been taught in society. Continue to push yourself to be more open to your gender expression, your gender identity. As someone who has lived through it himself, as someone who is in his 30s, when you allow yourself to be more free, y'all, it's so rewarding when you allow yourself to not have to be bucketed in these things. And when you start to love yourself and all the different identities you can have and expression you can have, you will start loving and be attractive to things people you never thought you'd be attracted to. You will start opening that door to allow yourself to be friends and be attracted to people that you never thought you would. So guys, I hope you found this video insightful. I hope it started kind of turning some lights on in your brain, allowing you to think a little bit different, having a different perspective when it comes to masculinity. At the end of the day, you know, we as gay men comes in all shapes and sizes. We come in all different personality types. We come in all different forms, and just continue to push your mind to allow all those different forms to be what it means to be a queer man, to means what it be a gay man. We are not a monolith. We are all desirable. We are all special in our own way, and we deserve all to be loved, to be able to build community, and to be appreciated. So guys, if you did like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Please drop a comment and give me your thoughts on masculinity in the gay community. If you feel that we are getting to a place where we are becoming more fluid with our gender expression, our gender identity, what's your thoughts on? Do you really feel like there's not enough masculinity in the gay world? Please let me know. Comment. Let me know your thoughts. I always love discussing and talking with you guys. And as always, guys, do your best to stay safe, stay positive, and I will see you guys on the next video.